Hey, everybody. I'm so excited to be here today to tell you about another new innovative feature that Varies has released called Smart Diagnosis. Smart Diagnosis features an AI powered tool that's designed to enhance clinical documentation more efficiently. This is just another new feature that they've added on. It's just totally amazing. Smart Diagnosis provides a tailored diagnosis based on the content of your session notes. So it helps you save time and increase your accuracy with how you're going to diagnose your client. And once your diagnosis is approved, it automatically updates the client's profile, improving the quality of future notes and documentation that you have inside of Berries. I want to demonstrate how this works. Now, these are not real clients. These are fictional clients that I put in here for demonstration purposes. But let's say I just had a session with somebody and we want to get a diagnosis for them. So I'm going to click on this fictional client and scroll down to the very bottom under the note. And you're going to see now there's a diagnosis that's already been suggested at the bottom of this note after the note was created. So as you can see, post-traumatic stress disorder is recommended for this client. And there's different settings down here. You can approve this as the diagnosis you want to go with. You can explore this. You can keep it flagged for exploration so you can decide later if that's the diagnosis you want to give them. Or you can reject the diagnosis completely by clicking this button. It says, would you like us to remove the diagnosis for this client? You can re-add them later if needed. So I'm going to say remove just to show you. Now, there's no more down here. Let's say, okay, I want to get another suggestion for this. So you go down to the bottom of your note and you can regenerate just by clicking the regenerate note button. It's going to regenerate it for us. And they want your feedback why you needed to regenerate it, but we're not going to fill that out. And as you can see, after it regenerates, we're going to scroll back down to the bottom and see what's down there for us. And now we have the note regenerated for us. We're going to scroll back down to the bottom. And we're going to see there's some new suggestions here. They did put post-traumatic stress disorder back in there, but there's some new suggestions. So we've got generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, or post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, what you can do is look at the justification. This is the amazing thing about Berry. It justifies why the AI thinks, the smart diagnosis thinks, that this is the correct diagnosis. So it says the client reports chronic worry about various aspects of life, including physical health, family issues, interactions with brother. Also describe persistent anxiety impacting his daily life, such as sleep disturbances, difficulty managing day-to-day activities, and being overwhelmed by responsibilities. So this is pretty good. I think this diagnosis would fit for this client based on the content of the note. So what you could do now is approve it. And let's say, well, gosh, I don't know, maybe it's major depressive disorder. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to put the explore button on here and just hold these for later. This one, we're going to reject the post-traumatic stress disorder and say remove that. So now we have two diagnoses here. We have one that's approved and we have one that we're exploring. We also have a justification for this one as well. If you want to go look at that and read that, you can even copy this justification and add it into your note if you want to, add it into your EHR, add it into your treatment plan if you want to justify why you chose this diagnosis. Now, another really neat feature for this is you might not like any of these suggestions that it's given. So you can come down here and you can explore for yourself. You can say, you know what, I have a sneaking suspicion this person might be bipolar. So you start typing in bipolar, and we've got bipolar disorder that's come up here. So you can now explore this and add it here to what your exploration is going to be. You can read the justification for those. No justification provided because it's new. It's a new introduction, and it didn't think that bipolar disorder was actually the diagnosis, which makes sense. You can hold that there for a while too, so you can get some more information. Now, let's say the next note really justifies bipolar disorder. You can come down and do this whole process over with the diagnostic suggestions. Is now it knows that this is the accepted diagnosis for this client. So all of the treatment plans, all of the progress notes hereafter, any other information that you give, a discharge summary, anything like that is going to be contingent upon this diagnosis that you've chosen for the client. So it's going to write the notes around that, which is going to help us adhere to the streamlining of our notes, justifying that golden thread where the treatment plan connects to the diagnosis, connects to the assessment, connects to the progress notes, that we're working on a common goal based on the diagnosis of this client. Now, this is just the beginning of Smart Diagnosis. That's going to continue to evolve with more features and more improvements planned for the future. We would encourage you to try Smart Diagnosis now. Give us any feedback if you have any from the process. And know that it's going to automatically appear now for notes that you've newly generated. Now, if you have an old note you want to go back to, All you have to do is go back to that note, regenerate the note, and it's going to reset the entire process. So you can start with smart diagnosis for old clients that maybe you're not going to see for a while, but you'd like to play around with it and see what their diagnosis is. You can do that as well with this feature. Okay, so excited about this. This totally streamlines our clinical practice. It makes diagnosing so much easier. Of course, we always want to keep our clinical judgment when we're using tools like this to make sure it fits and it's correct. But they're pretty right on. I've tried this with a few of my fictional clients in here, and it makes perfect sense. The diagnosis that it gives, it makes it so much easier to justify the diagnosis, to incorporate it seamlessly into your current documentation workflow with your treatment plans, your assessments, and your progress notes. So let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear.